There are times in history when the foundations of love and justice seem to shake. Times when rights long fought for and long assumed to be secure suddenly tremble under the weight of fear, backlash, and power. We find ourselves once again in such a moment. On August 11th, a petition was formally submitted to the United States Supreme Court to reconsider and possibly overturn Obergefell v. Hodges, the 2015 Supreme Court case that established, by a majority decision, the right to marriage equality, the very right that LGBTQIA2S+ people and families fought for across generations, and that was only secured nationwide a decade ago. While many legal experts consider the bid a long shot, if the court were to consider the case, it would be scheduled for oral arguments this fall, with a final decision set for June 2026, in the middle of Pride Month. For some, this news lands as a political headline. But for others among us, our siblings, our friends, our partners, our parents, our children, this is no abstract news story. It is personal. It is intimate. It is about the legitimacy of love, the recognition of family, the affirmation of human dignity. It is about whether marriages, their covenants, their very lives will be treated as holy or dismissed as disposable. Into this moment, we turn to words of affirmation, resilience, and truth. Kimi Floyd Reisch's poem Beacons declares, "We were never meant to hide in closets, and we were never to be spoken of in whispered corners by a world filled with others afraid of their own reflections." The poem reminds us our Unitarian Universalist faith does not whisper about love, it proclaims it. Our faith does not hide identities, it blesses them. Our faith does not cower before unjust laws, it defies them with courage and compassion. And so today, together, we gather not only to reflect on these words, but to embody them. Before we leap to hope, we must pause to name the fear. For many in our LGBTQIA2S+ community, the possibility of the court revisiting marriage equality feels like deja vu, a reminder of how fragile justice can be, how quickly progress can be reversed. We must remember marriage equality was not handed down as a gift. It was won through decades of organizing, of protests, of tears shed, of families rejected and yet persevering. And still, even in victory, queer people continue to face bans, erasures, and violence. The threat of reversal is not a theoretical fear. It is an ever-present reality that weighs on hearts and homes. As a community of faith, our first call is pastoral, to hold one another tenderly in these times, to make sure that every LGBTQIA2S+ person in our midst hears it. We must say it again and again with our words, with our actions, with our votes, with our voices. You are not alone. We are from the flames of Channing's truth, Olympia Brown's relentlessness, in Lou Alcott's defiance of societal expectations, and Thoreau's solitude of freedom. Ours is not a faith that waits passively for justice to arrive. Ours is a faith that has always been about widening the circle, challenging unjust laws, defying cultural norms, affirming freedom, and insisting that love and dignity belong to all people. William Ellery Channing declared a radical truth of human worth. Olympia Brown, one of the first women ordained to ministry, refused to relent in the face of sexism and exclusion. Louisa May Alcott lived with defiance of rigid gender roles and expectations. Henry David Thoreau went to jail rather than comply with laws that upheld slavery. And so it is no surprise that our tradition has also stood with LGBTQIA2S+ people. Not perfectly, not always quickly enough, but persistently. From the earliest advocates of gay and lesbian clergy to those who fought for marriage equality to congregations today that declare themselves welcoming congregations, we know that faith without justice is hollow. We proclaim that love is love, the soul is not gendered, and covenants live in hearts, not courtrooms. And if and when courts or legislatures attempt to erase that truth, our faith will remain wide, widening still more, as Reisch writes, until every pronoun, every identity, every love is celebrated. The history of law in this country is a cruel one. Laws once upheld slavery. Laws once criminalized interracial marriage. Laws once banned women from voting, stripped indigenous people of land and language, and sought to exclude immigrants from belonging. If marriage equality is threatened, it will not be the first time the law has failed love. But our faith has always known a deeper truth, that love does not depend on legality to be holy. Our marriages were holy before they were licensed, and our identities were sacred before we had names. This is the theological grounding we must carry. Courts may pass bans, politicians may write cruel laws, but no decree can undo the holiness of a kiss shared in truth, the sacredness of a name spoken in love, the covenant made between two people or within a chosen family. This truth sustains us even as we fight for legal protections because it reminds us that our dignity is not bestowed by the state, it is inherent, divine, unshakable. Bless those coming out and those staying in. Bless the drag, bless the transitioning, bless the questioning, bless the kinfolk, bless our chosen families, and bless us. We are a theology of abundance, of blessing every path, every identity, every journey. In times of fear, blessing becomes an act of resistance. To bless is to affirm, you are beloved, you are whole, you are worthy. As Unitarian Universalists, we are called to be a people of blessing, especially when the world would curse, erase, or demean. We bless pronouns. We bless pride flags. We bless chosen families. We bless resistance. We bless tenderness. We bless survival. We bless joy. And we bless not only with words, but with deeds, showing up at school board meetings, advocating for trans health care, defending drag performers, protecting families, voting for justice, and showing up in the streets when needed. So what is the role of the church in this moment, when the Supreme Court may yet again strip away rights? We must be sanctuary, a place where people can breathe, cry, rejoice, and be fully themselves, where closets are not required and whispers are replaced with songs of affirmation. We must be teachers, offering moral clarity in a time of confusion, proclaiming that love is love and dignity is inherent. We must be witnesses, standing in the public square, at the courthouse, at the city hall, as a voice of faith that will not be silenced. Just as the poem says, we are not meant to hide, but to blaze. Our congregations are called to shine as beacons of justice, joy, and resistance. If the court threatens marriage equality, let us be the first to remind the world that our marriages, our covenants, our loves are already holy. We will affirm them if and when the state and country refuse to do so. The final words of Beacons declare, we are literally love becoming. Love is not a static thing. Love is not an artifact of the past. Love is becoming. It is unfolding. It is evolving, expanding, widening. We are not simply recipients of love. We are agents of it, embodiments of it, co-creators of it. When the court threatens to roll back justice, we must answer not only with resistance, but with becoming more inclusive, becoming more courageous, becoming more joyful, becoming more fierce, becoming love. My friends, this is not a moment for despair. It is a moment for courage. When politicians speak of bans, let us speak of blessings. When courts debate the legitimacy of love, let us live it fiercely and without apology. When the world tries to erase us, let us blaze. This is the work of Unitarian Universalism in this time. To be wide where the law is narrow, to be bold where the culture is fearful, to be tender where the world is cruel. And so, to those who are fearful today, you are not alone. To those who wonder if your love will be recognized, it already is, by us, by God, by the universe. To those who are tired of fighting, let us have the honor of carrying the banner for a while. To those who blaze with rainbow fire, keep shining, for you are beacon and blessing. You are beauty, you are goodness, and especially you are unicorns with a bit of rainbow and a lot of heart. And together, we, this congregation, this tradition, this movement, were never meant to hide. We were always meant to blaze. May we cause it to be so. Blessed be. Amen. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. Namaste. Thank you all so much.